G'day guys, Josh here. Welcome to another Saturday Economy on a Saturday, once again, 27th of May. And well, I didn't say I was going to put this on the back burner. I probably was going to start this weekend, obviously, or next weekend, obviously. We have Diablo 4 coming out, so there'll be a lot of back-to-back Diablo 4 content. So a lot of my YouTube videos will probably be done during my day break and stuff like that as well. As I just absolutely just slap out some D4. We're going to be doing some massive big D4 content, some big D4 builds as well, which will be pretty awesome, mainly for the Druid, of course, just going to specialize into that Druid. And basically go through, like, what builds work, what builds didn't work, and stuff like that as well. Just give you a heads up as well. And we're also going to still do the wacky investments. If you guys have been watching that and having a bit of a laugh, we've got the Alpha Male podcast one coming up as well, which is going to be a funny one. Even though I recommend none of you guys to definitely do that. Like, don't sell yourselves out. Don't sell yourself out like that. It's just a thing to have a bit of a laugh and a bit of parody of because, mate, like, I've seen people actually do this as an investment idea, which I'm just bewildered by. But anyways, enough about that. Lost Ark. Okay, so Lost Ark's been a bit of a cool month with Slayer coming out, so everything's been a bit cool as and cool and relaxing. Not really much has come out. People still doing the grind and stuff like that as well. Akan, not sure when that's going to come out, but we'll see what happens basically as well. And also the forums obviously moves to Discord. I've got to say the good thing about the Discord so far is that a lot of the LFG and the training and learning stuff Discords have also been advertised on that Discord as well, and they've been staying up, which has been good to see. And also, it feels a lot like a community on the Discord, considering, like, previously in a forum post, just, every fucking post was like a guy whinging about the game. There's been a bit more of a community and understanding and stuff like that as well, which has been pretty decent, We'll see how this, cooks and see how this rolls out as a future kind of thing where games may not have forums instead. They just have a Discord instead that people just survive and chill on and stuff like that as well. But then again, I don't think it'll work for games because I think at this point it'll just get overcrowded and you're just, like, sitting there being like, well, fuck my message, basically. Anyway, let's get to the bosses. So the first things first is going to check all the bosses out. I don't expect no Abyss dungeons at this stage. You can see here, none whatsoever. Next up, we're going to go to the Abyss raids. Like I say, probably a few people doing Argos and stuff like that. Oh, this guy, he's missed the boat. Argos, let's get rich, even though you can't get any gold at all at these high levels. Interesting concept, but anyway, people just hoping to get a legendary thing at this point. I got to Voltan. A lot of hard mode enjoyers. I gotta say, there's no normal modes. I'm not entirely too surprised given the fact that normal mode barely gives any gold anymore. Vicus, a lot of heroic modes. I gotta say, buses on normal are very interesting. I put it this way, but I suppose they're getting a lot of people for the buses. Oh yeah, geez, they are too. A bit surprised actually, and you can see a lot of buses coming in as well. You know how I talked about how, like, that people would go back and do buses on lesser content and stuff like that? You can see there that people are definitely doing that. Also, people are helping out by carrying as well. I mean, look at that. It's a lot of people carrying coming back as well. And it's because, like, you don't lose your character if you take the ticket. As you can see here, like, you don't lose it at all, which is fairly awesome. Now, obviously, people are going to be like, oh, man, buses are the new GDKP. If you don't know the GDKP, it's a WoW term for basically people buying it with gold and stuff like that. I guess, like, overall, it's probably a necessary evil at this stage where you need incentive for the top players to come back in and help the lesser players. So buses and paying the drivers and stuff like that is absolutely huge. Midnight Circus, you can see here as well. Still a lot of buses. You know how I said ages ago that I would never ever think there would be buses for Cuckle Sidon? Oh, fuck, I look like an egg over my face. And as you can see here, this is all basically a few buses for Belshazzar, but mostly overall, it's just normal and hard mode progression, which was great to see. And obviously, the progression being progressed on by higher players, it's good to see that. And some of the normal players or some of the new players coming back in on a normal mode as well, which is great to see. Now, overall, we're going to go to the Mari store up next. And the Mari store, well, we're in Panuka at the moment. Panuka is one of the beautiful places. You got the Aftertime Night Rider special. You still got the Slayer armor as well. And you got the new Aftertime Night Rider set as well, just being advertised. Some people may be buying it, some people maybe not. I'm going to say it's dethroned the Fions and the Crystalline Aura now as the top tier as well. And I like how the Essentials sparkle, knowing that I don't have Crystalline Aura. But anyways, I digress. We go to the currency exchange, and I'm going to say Blue Crystals have been a bit flat. I mean, it's gone up to 2.1k, but overall it's been a bit flat, as you can see here. That it's iffing to and throwing from that 2,000 area to that 2,100 area. You can see here that it hasn't really gone up or gone down. It's just really sat sideways for the last few weeks. Nothing really, like, interesting here at all. Next up, we're going to go to not the bosses. We're going to go to the honing. And we're going to see how the honing mats are going at the moment. Now, honing mats, once again, tier 1 destruction stone fragments moving up to 2G. But another one you got to realize as well, the crystallized destruction stones moving up to 3G. Looks like there's some movement happening here. Hardening leap stones are getting close to 1, and at this stage, it might as well be 1, given the fact you need very little. If you even do the speed run to tier 3, you'll get past tier 1 just with those mats alone. And also you don't need any gold, of course. Protection stones going down to 4G now, so this is starting to start sliding back. This is kind of in line with what I said before, where the demand for protection stones can be very, very low, because everyone's going to have like high tier armor that they don't need to upgrade their armor anymore. Like, it's getting to that point where they're all just waiting for a Khan at this stage. Now, of course, all the purple books and stuff like that always going to be so low in value. The main reason why is that basically you don't need them anymore. Pretty much, like, you know, it's just, they're just paperweights at this stage for both tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. Auto leap stones to 7G, it has been above that. It's gone back into double digits as well. You can see here's the 9.28 price, so it's got to double check that. The simples and basics, I'm going to say the simples have actually dropped back to 9. It's actually a high price for them on the weekends, you can see here. And you can see it's the same for the basic arrays as well. So I'm going to say, if you get some, you want to sell some now. If you want to buy them, you want to buy them a bit later. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Next up, we've got obliteration stones at 20G. This is they crept back a bit from 23G. And you can see here, 20G is actually quite expensive for it as well. So could be a good time to sell a bit of them, but you won't make too much on it. Granite honor leap stones are below 20G. Kind of be expected at the stage where honor leap stones aren't the main thing gaining you. Solid Graces always being sticking at this point at 25G, and also Superior Array of Fusion Materials is a bit volatile actually. It has been 22, 21, 22, but that was jumped up to 27, 28, so you might want to buy these early in the week as well, because a lot of these honing mats seem to be lower prices in the weekdays, but high prices in the weekend. Let's get to the rest of it here. This is actually the first time that I've seen all Last Shard pouches from Last Shard and Honor Shard pouches being below 100G, other than Harmony ones of course. And it's a bit of a mixture, as you can see here. Solid Protection being below 150G for the first time in quite a while is pretty huge as well. And you can see here, basically, at this point, it's still just Tier 2 maps and Tier 1 maps if you're doing Rift maps still. I guess I don't see much value in them at the moment. Honor Shard pouches are quite high. The main reason I don't see much value in these Shard pouches doing Rift maps anymore, because realistically, you get 8 of these, it's about 2k gold, and it may not be worth that much. So, obviously, you know, with the Rift maps do Tier 2, Tier 1, but is it worth your time? That's the big question. If it's worth your time, you got a group of friends, probably can knock them out in an hour, fine. If you don't, you know, maybe not at this stage, okay? Maybe not at this stage. Next up, we got the Sidereal Energy. That's gone up to 745 kg. That's just random path operating. I'm actually a bit surprised in the fact that Royal Crystals has not gone up. That Sidereal Energy is up that high as well. Also notice as well, a lot of the Relic support mats have gone down and keep going down as well, as you can see here. You know, a lot of it is going down. Next up, we're going to go to the Consumables. And like I say, elemental HP potions have pulled back a bit, but they're still quite expensive. I mean, previously when I said 20 to 30G, keep buying, wasn't lying, okay? I know that rhymed, but you know, hey, I was saying buy. The grenades are slowly going back up in price. They were 20G, now they're a bit higher obviously as well. They're still pretty cheap. I mean, if you want to buy them, buy them. The main things you want to make in your stronghold at the moment is the elemental HP potions, because they're quite expensive at the moment. Looking at utility, Panacea's 30G has gone up slightly. Looking at buff items, which is a Sprinter's Robe, that's just held steady as well. And last but not least, we're going to check the food. And let's see what the food is at the moment. Is Tier 2 food? Dude, I don't understand this. How's this? Okay, it's Tier 3 food at least, okay? But Tier 3 food, still quite expensive. More expensive than Tier 2 food, which is good to see, Now, overall, I'm going to say with the honing mats and stuff like that as well, it's been quite interesting looking at it more and more. But next up, we're going to go to the engravings. Now, engravings, I'm going to say, someone actually did say, because someone actually, since obviously I haven't been playing it too much, someone said the engraving support has been very, very helpful for them as well. So that's been good to hear as well. Now, like I say, you know, Amazon are making a lot of good changes in this game with Smilegate, which is alarming. But this is what happens with Amazon. They just do it too late. And you guys may be thinking, yeah, Josh was pretty right about this. They do all the good changes, and it's just way too late for the good changes because the horse has already bolted to a new MMO. It's kind of like what they did with New World. Like, New World's, like, if you play New World right now, it's a so much different game than it was at launch. And I think, basically, Amazon's got to kind of learn, as a developer, that sometimes you, like, just learn from mistakes and let it breathe, or, you know, delay the launch as well. Overall, let's just go into the engravings here. The green engravings are always going to be so much. I gotta say that I feel like they're going more expensive. I'm not sure. It's more expensive. Sorry, that's a word. Expensive isn't a word. Because you can see here, last week we only hit 100G at the 8th page. This week we're hitting 100G at the 6th page. So they've definitely gone up in value. And you can see a few class ones being sold really, really high, but you can see here that, basically it's a liquid market as well. And some of them are a bit overpriced, as you can see here as well. I think basically overall the real actual price is below 100G, given that some of these have not sold when they're over 100G, other than a few rare ones, a few off ones, few you know what? I forget the word for outliers. Okay, outliers. Okay, they've been bought. Okay, looking through the blue ones as well. Let's check through here, see if anyone's actually bought any 100G. I could imagine people buying some at 100G, as you can see there as well. Like someone has bought indeed at 100G. Someone bought at 274 from Vital Hit Point. Jeez. Wouldn't imagine a day that goes for 240G or so. But the blue ones are quite expensive. And someone bought a Pinnacle at 803. Jeez, I gotta say, some people gotta realize like they don't have to buy these off the shelf right away. Epic's always gonna be 1G. There's so many characters in that Epic area still that a lot of these are gonna be very, very cheap. Like Epic's always gonna be cheaper than blue. And funnily enough, someone actually bought a 360 Soul Fist. I gotta say, some of these people are very, very impatient. I mean, buying the Epic ones that drop probably the most frequently at 100G is just crazy to me. Next up, we're checking the legendary ones. Legendary ones have been slowly going down, and I feel it's because of all the raids and people getting to that raid at Brochars as well do drop legendary books. Therefore, the rareness of it, like compared to what was previously, where you would get a mixture of epic and legendary books, is a lot less. I mean, take an enhanced weapon for example. Okay, enhanced weapons trading at 50G. If you want enhanced weapons, Deadeye, pick it up. I know I'm just basically Deadeye biased at this point, but like there's a lot of them where like the average day price is a lot higher than what they actually are. You probably want to start picking them up now. I feel like I'm going to say like engravings to pick them up. It's actually better to pick them up during the weekend, from what I've noticed from the last like year of episodes I've done. Has always been the weekend where it's been very, very good to pick it up. But I'm going to say with holding mats, it's been really, really bad during the weekend. So it's been actually at the high point. Now take a look at all of them at the moment. So you can see Pistolier's the more sought out one, which is odd. I thought EH was better, but I guess people don't want to destroy their wrists either. You know, their precious, precious wrists. So looking at the engravings here, I gotta say overall, Grudge has gone up slightly, Full Bloom's gone up slightly, Desperate Salvation's gone up slightly as well. I think last week, we only had a few, we only hit page 8, I believe, and it went up to 1K. This one, a few of them a bit higher. Maybe they are coming back up at this point. I would say overall, like if you haven't been buying for the last few weeks, you may want to start buying a few now. I'd say just keep an eye on this price, okay? So like I say right now, if that price is lower than the average day price, like, let's just say 3 out of 4 of them, buy it, okay? Because like I say, unless something significant happens where basically the legendary market goes up, I don't believe those prices are going to go up anytime soon. Next up, we're going to do pets and skins. We're going to just basically cruise through here, given the fact that I'm going to suspect that this market would have still been neutral and still at a standstill. But we'll find out shortly if it's been at a standstill basically as well. Because you can see here, oh, actually, there's been a few buys here. I was going to say it's going to be largely a liquid. But you can see here, like, other than a few things, it's been largely a liquid, this market. Even some of the new stuff as well. I guess the fantasy ball, the adventure skin. Yeah, it's been largely pretty illiquid, to be honest. And I gotta say, a lot of these, like the reasons why they've been super liquid, is that people just waiting for the next one of those to be released and just buy it with gold instead. However, there's been a few of them we can see here that people have actually sold them at the current that Royal Crystal, Royal Crystal to gold conversion price. Now you can see here, 6 to 9, 8K stuff like that, and people have been buying it as well. Actually, a bit surprised if someone bought it for 28K. I guess I'm gonna say, maybe the people who I said before are a bit silly trying to sell at a higher value aren't so silly after all. The pets market's a bit more liquid. Like, it is a bit more liquid. People do buy from time to time. So like I say, how I said last time, that cat selection chest, I hadn't seen any up there for a long time. Well, someone's put it up for 45K and someone's actually bought. I guess say right now, like, those are incredibly, incredibly valuable. Next up, we're gonna go to gems. Gems overall, 1 to 3 gem chests actually quite expensive. It's double the price of 1 to 2. I'd say I would say like it's a bit more expensive given the fact that the chance of getting a level 3 gem is probably 33%, while getting level 2, level 1 gem is 66% basically as well, compared to here where it's 50-50. So I wouldn't double the price to get a chance at a higher gem. It really depends how it turns out. So I think basically level 2 gems might be the best bet. Next up, we're going to go to the actual gems on AH. We're going to get rid of my fingers. We're going to get rid of Deadeye and going to get into the tiers. So overall, let's just see how that is going at the moment. We're going to go to recent prices as well, because recent prices is the actual sale price. And it's actually gone up slightly, which is particularly interesting because we had some 8.9Ks recently, but still below 10K, still below the first time I looked at this gem market, which I think was about 17K overall. Next up, we're going to go to Relic gems as well to see how everything's going here. Crimson gems have held steady. Let's just check the other gems as well. I guess there's not many gems on the market at this stage. Maybe some people can't try to collect level 10 gems for a Slayer or stuff like that. I'm not really too sure. And Argent gems actually gone up back to 300k. It actually dropped below 300k. But overall, they're still quite low from where they were previously. Last but not least, we're going to take a look at accessories. We're going to take a look at the Relic ones first to see how they're going. A lot of gold selling still going here, by the way. I mean, there's a lot of gold selling. I mean, 1 million gold for crappy fucking Relic items is a bit of a joke, bit of a tease at the moment. You can see here, like, a lot of terrible ones being gold sold here as well. I can't imagine, like, people buying any sort of these at this stage, even with a +5 into this. But I'd say overall, I think it would start getting into ones that are actually good. Not yet, not. Probably, I guess, say, when we get to, like, the, oh, that could sell for 85k. So I think we're getting into it now, actually. Getting into the 85ks or whatever. Yeah, actually, here would probably be it. Where you'd see some of the ones, oh, that's gold selling. Actually, most of those were gold selling. We'll probably get to the area where it's not really gold selling at all very shortly, I would say. To be fair, I'm not really too sure. Well, there's still some of the actual gold selling at this point as well. Let's get to the ancient ones. The ancient ones, realistically, I gotta say, most of them may not be gold selling. It may be actual good stuff. That's gold selling 100%. Who would buy 2.5 million gold? Jeez, you would stick out like a sore thumb if you were gold selling or not. But there's still a few really good pieces, like for triple figures, that, you'd be like sitting there like, yeah, that's, people would sell for that. I mean, for example, this one, Peacemaker Hitmaster, I'd be like, yeah, I can understand that. KBW Mayhem with Swiftness, can understand that. It's pretty good. Surge and Ambush Master, yeah, can understand that with Deathblade. Then you get some ones you just in there go like, nah, definitely can't understand it. You can see here as well, there's a few of them. That's gold seller. That ain't gold selling. Okay, like you can tell, like, what's gold selling, what isn't. A lot of 3 to 6 things that generally just be like, yeah, those are people who would actually buy that, stuff like that as well. You can probably still get a few good pieces for like 95k and stuff like that. May not be the best stats. In fact, you can. Jeez, all out attack grudge. I guess the all out attack's not that great, but hey, you get a max stat bonus as well, or maybe it's an off spec. This might be alright. I won't be surprised if someone did buy it, given the fact they would probably be like, oh, +5 expert, not the end of the world. But they may be turned off by the finger as well. Just checking a few of these other ones as well. Yeah, that's pretty good, the crit one. So you can see you probably can still get a lot of good ones for 90k. You can see here, you get a lot of decent ones for 90k. And they're close to best of slot as well. Like, 2 stats and like specialization and stuff like that isn't really that much. Like, another grudge, like, this one's really good, by the way. Like, this earrings is really good for a Deadeye. 6 grudge, 3 KBW, +1 attack speed reduction, which is actually quite huge. Like, because it's only +1 to bad, which is massive for an accessory as well. I'm surprised that this didn't go up for a lot more, because that person could have put it up for a lot more. Like, I definitely easily could have put a lot more. Expert heavy armor, I'd say this is pretty good support thing as well. I know people don't like heavy armor, but there's some classes that do need it. Bard is one of them as well. Anyways, let's get to the ability stones and head this one off for today. And I gotta say, ability stones, last time they went up. Like, they went up big time, and you guys saw it go up big time. Like, 2k was, I don't know, was it a 5k, something like that? Was people still buying it for? Obviously, there's a lot of gold selling here as well, so be aware of that too. But actually, they've gone a bit down a bit. Maybe we got a bit lucky last time. We had that guy who was constantly rolling the stones. But yeah, it's gone back to 1k. I gotta say, I think it was 2k last time that they were just selling like hotcakes, and I was sitting there going, like, what the flip is going on? Well, it's back to 1k, and that's, good to see that the insanity has stopped. Anyways, guys, that's gonna be it. I gotta say, overall, like, the deflation of the Lost Ark economy it's been really felt here, and it's actually sticking as well. So people were afraid that the inflation was just going to happen again, and there's going to be no real stop to it. But it's good to say that, the inflation has actually stopped that blue crystal price from just skyrocketing up again. And I'm not sure what the main factor is for it, anything like that, but it seems to have steadied at the moment. Could it be less players? Not entirely too sure. But anyways, we'll find out. Hope you guys have a great day and see you guys next week. Oh, maybe not next week. See you guys next week to watch my D4 videos. Peace out. Bye.